Why, hello there, everyone. I'm the Kumo Sensei, and I'm back. And yeah, there's a lot of anime news I really want to get to, but I couldn't because this week it was my birthday, and I was basically off on break from everything. So, yes, I have a lot I want to look at. But the first thing I want to talk about is copyright. And yes, I got 12 copyright claims, and I think it's 13 now because another one popped up. I so for those people who don't know, I've been uploading. Well, I started YouTube in 2017, so about 5 years now, I think. And surprisingly, this is a common issue I get all the time. So I don't know how copyright music, even though when you credit them correctly, you still get claimed. But anyhow, though, this is not a big deal. The problem is that when you use non-copyrighted music and it gets claimed, typically it really becomes a domino effect. So essentially, what happens is if one video gets claimed and just with that one song, every other video that used that one song, even if it's sourced and used correctly through legal standards of fair use, it gets claimed. So it trickles down. So as I've stated, when it rains, it pours, and this is kind of it's it's very stressful. So there goes that. But I think I'll get over it, and I gotta slow down the uploads if I can. But we'll see about what happens. But anyhow, though, this is the big news everybody's talking about. I'm not a big fan of Polygon, but why not? So, One Piece will go on a 1 month break ahead of story conclusion. I am a big fan of One Piece, but I'm not going to preach One Piece as the holy grail because everybody has their own preference and everybody has their own favorite animes of all time. So, I'm not going to sit here and say One Piece is the greatest of all time. It's really up to you and whatever you find that you like. I find that with One Piece, with the current arc of Wano, how it concluded with Kaido, uh, it's very One Piece like. So, Eiichiro Oda, the creator behind the long-running manga One Piece, announced that he will be taking a month-long break following the conclusion of the recent arc, which is the Wano arc, in order to prepare for the series' 25th anniversary. The manga will be on hiatus in the weekly Shonen Jump magazine from June 27th until July 25th. After the pause, the manga will return with one final saga, according to a popular fan translation Twitter account. Of course, fan translation and Twitter, two things that go hand in hand together. Oh man. Breaking news: with Wano concluding, One Piece will be going on a 1 month hiatus from June 27th to July 25th so that Oda can prepare for the final saga. I'm going to be honest, when it comes to the fight of One Piece, it is very very shonen. It comes down to one final blow. And a lot of people were kind of mixed on the Wano arc because Kaido essentially going down with one insane punch. Well, spoiler. This is spoilers, but I thought it was a bit very One Piece. And I know a lot of people is going to get pissed because it really, I don't know. One Piece has a way of doing its fights that is so different from others. But let's continue. One Piece is one of the longest running and most beloved shonen series of all time. Shueisha published the first chapter in 1997. Since its start, the weekly serialized story has spanned over 1,000 chapters. That's kind of crazy. Isn't there more episodes than chapters in One Piece now? Which is kind of funny, honestly. This is the this is the largest break from manga since Oda took 4 weeks off during the time skip in the story. Well, he's prepping, I'll tell you that. After which he helmed the series in a new direction. Fans are debating whether the announcement means the story only has one arc left, or if it simply means the story will come to a conclusion soon. Regardless, we've known for a while that Luffy's story was finally coming to an end in 2020. Oda said One Piece will end in 5 years. I don't know. I when it comes to Oda, he actually takes his time. So it could be 5 years, could be more, could be less. One Piece follows the story of the rubber pirate Luffy and his quest to become Pirate King. And then it goes on a quick summary and more. But I find One Piece to be kind of strange in a way because it just getting into One Piece is an absolute nightmare. I'll be honest. I feel like you kind of have to be in the circle or in the loop of One Piece to catch on to it. Because if you're a new anime fan, or if or if you haven't been watching One Piece, essentially what it is it's a it starts off really slow, but it picks up once you get kind of towards the halfway point. Is there a problem with that? To be honest, there is because like what does it say? Since 1997. Now remember, if you're starting One Piece, it starts in it's old school shonen when you first start off One Piece because it came out in 1997. But I always tell people, if you want to get into One Piece and you don't want to watch 1,000 episodes, for God's sake, please read the manga. I have no you have no idea how many times I've told people to just read the manga because the manga's pacing is amazing. Oh, hello there, Marco. I hope everything's going well. But yeah, I'm talking about One Piece and it is crazy. Let me refresh. It's kind of crazy how One Piece is going to its final arc. I think I have so many questions because it's the final arc, but there's so many questions. I think essentially Oda's gonna wrap it up, and I think what did he say, 5 years or something? I don't think it will be 5 years. It could be a little bit more or a little bit less because I feel like there's so much that it has to offer still that I really can't see it conclude as easily. But hey, if they say so, then it must be true, I guess. But anyhow, though, let's see. What else should we talk about? Because there's actually quite a bit. So But anyhow, though, One Piece, that's one of the few things that I want to talk about today because I feel like it's going to have a, I don't know, I am very hyped, but I can't tell you if it's going to be amazing or if it's going to be something generic. It's it's kind of I'm kind of mixed in between, but at this point the only thing I can do is to wait and see. It's, there's a lot of news going on that I missed because I was on break. And I am currently looking around trying to find what I want to talk about as well. There's a lot of news. Dun, 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 dun. Crunchyroll, why do you have all my news for me? Where is it? I can't find it, but sorry, but you it's kind of insane how oh man. I know exactly what my next stream will be. I know exactly what I want to do. I want to do a dance lesson stream. Not really me dancing, but me explaining level 0 dancing from the beginning. It'll be nice. Hmm. I need to check my anime list for a second, everyone. My net is bugging, so I cannot. But I am here. That's good. Okay, now I need to check. I can't believe One Piece is still at the top. It's crazy, man. One Piece. That is going to be interesting. Exactly. I have. But don't worry, everyone. I'll teach dancing someday on YouTube. But at the moment, I don't. I'm not comfortable because I teach better in person. One Piece is 8.6 in user ratings, which is nothing too surprising, honestly. I don't think One Piece will be higher than Full Metal Alchemist because Full Metal Alchemist will always be number one for some reason. Top animes. I tell you, this Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, this would never be beaten. Spy Family. Spy Family actually dropped. It was like 5, but now it's down to 11. I actually like Spy Family. I think this is like the only series I'm actually hooked for the spring season. It is amazing what it can do about family because it's kind of strange to say that because I feel like a lot of animes don't really highlight the family aspect. And even though there's a bit of shonen and a bit of, action here and there, I think the family chemistry between the characters is amazing. It's, hmm, what is 50? Great teacher Onizuka. Okay, that's still interesting. The list changes so often now. I don't really keep up with this list. So I made a video a long time ago talking about the top rank anime on my anime list, and I went back to look on it and look at it now. It's changed quite a bit. The only thing that hasn't changed is that Gintama is still reigning on this list. Like when it comes to Gintama and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, they're always in the top 50. Gintama, where is it? Gintama, Gintama. It's so cool, but it's so funny because Gintama is such a. I don't want to say it's a meme, but it's it's such an enjoyable show. Oh god, I'm laughing. That's how funny it is. The author of Spy Family is a fan of Fast and Furious. I did not know that. Fast and Furious is a crazy series, man. I think Fast and Furious 7 was heart touching what they did with Paul Walker, but man, they've gone insane with the Fast and Furious series. They're now like, what is it, riding cars to space and whatnot. It's just so strange how Fast and Furious is still like an ongoing movie series and whatnot. And I can't believe the author of Spy Family is a fan of Fast and Furious. It is just straight up wacky. I still think that in terms of shonen anime, though, Hunter x Hunter is the best balanced. I wouldn't say it's the best. Now, if I say it's the best action series, I think it's a little bit biased because there's a debate on that. But I think in terms of power levels and like power balancing, this shows it. There's no, I wouldn't say there are weak characters, but it's more like rock paper scissors based on how the nin, which is basically the energy system, works in this series. I think Shonen Jump like could use another series that has actual decent power leveling. I think Naruto did a good job with power leveling until Shippuden. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Naruto Shippuden. Naruto Shippuden or Shippuden is amazing, but I feel like the transition is kind of crazy from best arc in Genshin for me was when Genko's crazy when he's so oh man, yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was pretty funny. Oh, Oh, sorry. I'm laughing way too often now. I would like to stream more often, but I would really like to get a new PC though. Uh, Too bad Gizmo is pretty much over, man. But man, Gizmo was awesome. It is. Is I wouldn't really say it's worth a second watch because I think watching it a second time, you kind of get all the jokes. I mean, I could just watch clips on it on YouTube, but and whatnot. But let's see what's on this list still. Game becoming a woman. Remember? Oh my god. Oh my gosh. This is funny, man. Gosh, the Gintama nostalgia. I love Gintama, man. It's like the jokes are funny as heck, but it it wouldn't it wouldn't be as effective on a second watch as it is if I did it on like a first watch. I think Gizmo is better to go in as a first time watcher because the jokes land better and you don't know what to expect from Gintama. Oh my gosh, man. But I want to check out the rest of this list to see what's changed. Code Geass, Fate, Heaven's Spiel. Heaven's Spiel, I don't know what to say about this. Your list is public by default. Yeah, whatever, I guess. I'm not a. Heaven's Spiel to me, they even troll the opening ones. Exactly. It's crazy. Gintama, you can't take it seriously. I think that's what makes it so cool, though. I think in terms of the Fate series, when it comes to the original, the Fate Stay Night, the Unlimited Blade Works, and Heaven's Spiel, I think this one is by far my least favorite. I think. Well, it depends. I used to be a big Fate fan. I used to love this series, but I think what happened was that it just became a bit too overwhelming. Udaware Ruromono was coming out. Yeah, I've heard. It's kind of crazy. Isn't it like was it a remake or something? No, it's not a remake. Or the this is actually based off a game, but I don't want to say for me good old school anime. Hmm. I think damn, where do I go? I just lost my train of thought for a second. I believe this was based off the game. I haven't played the game, so I can't compare it. I don't like comparing like animes to the original source, but at the same time, I need it for a preference, so that way I can have a general idea of what is adapted and what hasn't been adapted properly. I still think one of the worst anime adapt like the I'm gonna sound biased when I say this, but I think one of the most disappointing anime adaptations of all time is Tokyo Ghoul. I feel like there is no anime adaptation as disappointing as Tokyo Ghoul is. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Unravel is a great opening, and I think in general, Tokyo Ghoul is a unique concept, but the manga is so different in terms of the tone and how the story is like executed that the anime doesn't come close. I think the voice actors, the seiyus and whatnot are perfect. I just think the Studio Pierrot, I think they just screwed up with adapting this anime. They should make a Tokyo Ghoul remake, like a Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood remake or something. After the first season anime, I stopped watching. The first season is the first season kind of cuts off some things and changes the events of what happens. So it's not perfect, but in comparison to every other Tokyo Ghoul season, is this is like much better than the second season. What was it? Tokyo Ghoul Root A. I don't understand why this anime's rating is 7.3. I think it should have been lower. This the ending, the last episode was good, but God, this series is like dumpster fire bad in terms of adaptation. I've seen a lot of bad anime adaptations, like bad, and this is probably up there. And it's bad because they actually this whole second season is so different from the actual manga. Now, in terms of bad anime adaptations, I think one of the worst one is I think what's it called, Sky Wizards Academy. I don't know any anime adaptation better than original manga. That is pretty true. The original source is typically better. Boy, now if you want to see, I think this is by far the worst anime adaptation from the original source of all time. And I actually read the light novels. I read the first two volumes, and oh my gosh, this anime is atrocious. Sky Wizards Academy. It came out in 2015, and man, it's bad. Animation is standard. The characters are pretty generic. The light novel is actually pretty decent. It's kind of strange. I don't know how they screw up, but they, man, they screw. If there's one thing I learned by anime adaptations, when it comes to light novels, typically they cut out a lot of like content from the light novel, and I think Overlord suffered the worst, like in terms of good anime, but could have been better. But this is, in my opinion, the most disappointing anime adaptation. It's very. Do you read manhwa? Uh, to be honest, not much any, not really much anymore. In terms of manhwa, I read God of High School, Nobilis, and Tower of God. Those are the three I do. Well, I did read back then. I also read a bit of solo leveling. I think solo leveling is great, but it's just that I don't have time to read manhwas. And what else have I tried? I don't remember what else I tried. Unordinary. I tried out the first two chapters because my friend recommended me that, but I haven't had time to read it as well. Do they have solo? No, not solo leveling, but Tower of God. Yeah, I believe they. I think Tower of God is like pretty, is more of my interest in terms of so I don't know if they're still considered the big three manhwas, but back then Tower of God, uh the God of High no, yeah, God of High School or something like that, and Noblies, those three were actually the big three manhwas back then. And of the three, I think Tower of God is my favorite of those three. I think God of High School has the worst power level system of all time. I became the male's least adopted daughter. If you have time, give it a few chapters. Is that a manga or a manhwa? Because I don't really, I don't spend too much time with anime as I would like, but man, I think God of High School, in my opinion, is like Dragon Ball Z, but if the pacing was at a thousand, like it's crazy. Manhwa, I'll probably check it out. The one thing I love about manhwas though that I think does better than mangas is that manhwas it just pretty much cuts to the, like it just gets straight to the point. Now the God of High School, I can't believe the rating is 7.0, well 7.07. I think the animation is cool, and I think the music smacks, but I think the story's pacing in this anime is atrocious. And I think the manhwa of this series, it suffers from that because Jin Oh my gosh, man, that it's just crazy. Like, I don't want to say it's bad, but it just like ridiculous. I heard that solo leveling was like getting an anime or something. I am not familiar with solo leveling, but everybody praises this series, even in Japan. It's kind of funny how like a manga could be this popular in Japan. I would really like to. Main voice actor is good. Yeah, for the God of High School, yes. With solo leveling though, this is like the holy grail. Yeah, I got that, Marco. I understand. The voice actor for Jin is pretty good. But back to solo leveling though, the one thing everybody wants is an anime from this, and the why is the rating so low? What the heck? Overall ratings of 4, a 5, an 8, a 4. Wow, is it actually that mixed? I thought that solo leveling was highly praised. The rating's 8.73. Not to mention everybody. It's kind of strange because people were demanding an anime adaptation. It is getting anime. Exactly. So they got. What am I saying? So solo leveling is getting anime. Let me read the summary. Sorry, I'm curious because I only read like 3 chapters and I don't remember much from it from a long time ago. 10 years ago, the gate appeared and connected the real world with the realm of magic and monsters. To combat these vile beasts, ordinary people received superhuman powers and became known as hunters. 20-year-old Sung Jinwoo is one such hunter, but he is known as the world's weakest, owing to his pathetic power compared to even a measly E rank. Still, he hunts monsters tirelessly in low rank gates to pay for his mother's medical bills. I remember that much at least. However, this miserable lifestyle changes when Jinwoo, believing himself to be the only one left to die in a mission gone terribly wrong, awakens in a hospital 3 days later to find a mysterious screen floating in front of him. This quest log demands that Jinwoo completes an unrealistic and intense training program or face an appropriate penalty. Initially reluctant to comply because of the quest's rigor, Jinwoo soon finds that it may just transform him into one of the world's most fearsome hunters. Interesting. So it's pretty much exactly how it is when I read the manhwa. I'm still kind of confused why these ratings down here is so low. 4. I'm gonna check this out real quick. Okay, the manhwa community entitled Solo Leveling along the lines of not like the other manhwas or not your typical power fantasy. And although I respect their awareness of the prevalent mediocrity in the medium, the aforementioned descriptions are still false. Solo leveling is your typical power fantasy, and let's be honest, not like the other manhwas or not your typical power fantasy is not that much of a compliment to begin with. Oh boy. Oh my god. I am not gonna read all of that. God. Okay, we'll just read one more paragraph. It's mediocre, worse even, to be brutally frank. The narrative is brimming with formulas, has one of the worst character writings I've ever witnessed, and is overall a boring read. The protagonist's tale suffers no risk and receives all the rewards. No suspense is there to keep the reader at the edge of their seats or in any way to make it engaging. However, solo leveling's popularity seems to prove otherwise, and it's understandable. I can't tell if this person has actual criticism, but or if it's just one of those salty people that believes like this anime is the best or this is the worst. But man, it's kind of this is the thing I hate about anime is that everyone's opinions is subjective as heck. I feel like my anime list has a way of showing so much bias without showing bias. I personally don't have a problem if you have, you know, you like what you like, I like what I like. I don't really like to debate people because I feel like then I'm just being way too mean. But that's just me though. But it's ranked 44 too of manhwas. That's crazy. Series Chugong's web novels since 2019. Has it really been that long? I feel like Solo Leveling just came out yesterday. That is insane. It's been originally been published in 2019. In 2019, I think I was still in college. That's kind of, oh. I want to see the manhwas real quick. Who made me a? Holy smoly! I had never heard of some of these manhwas, but let's. You will find your answer on chapter 178. Really? Sounds interesting. But let me look at the rest of the manhwas because there's so many. Augur Out, Saber, Helper. Was this Super Eye Patch Wolf? Somebody made an actual review on this manhwa series, I believe. Helper, White Blood, Ruler of Land, Dr. Frost, Fools, The Witch, This Witch is Mine, ID, Skillier. It's kind of strange. I thought I actually do read a lot of manhwas. I guess not because a lot of these I've never heard of, other than the big three. I'll be honest, Noblies. I think the manhwa is pretty good, but the anime is the anime makes it mediocre. I don't know why, but the animation. The art style for Noblies is amazing. I love it. Let's see. Sweet Home, The Boxer, Omniscient Reader, The Breaker. Because that is the last chapter. Really interesting. The last chapter for Solo Leveling. The Horizon. What is this? I never heard of The Horizon before. 2016. In a world ravaged by... Okay, what am I saying? In a world ravaged by war, a young boy walks down a lonely road in the aftermath of his mother's death. Along his journey, he witnesses military tanks, dead bodies, and his beloved city in ruins. With eyes clouded by anguish, he pushes himself to keep moving forward. One morning, he meets a girl in an abandoned bus where he spent the night. Moments after their encounter, the area turns to a battlefield, and the pair escapes into a long abandoned lane. The two strangers decide to walk together to the end of the road, thus beginning a companionship that will ignite new hope inside their shriveled hearts. So this is a drama series? Wow, that's the characters' names. The boy, the girl, man in suit, strange man, girl's father. Let's see the ratings. That's crazy. 10, 8, 6, 10. It's like better than Solo Levelings. What the heck? Let's see this review. Okay, it's not that long. I don't often throw around the word masterpiece, but I think it truly applies to this story. In just 21 chapters, the author manages to build a believable post-apocalyptic world and attach you to the characters who are traveling through it. The art fits the story extremely well, with its dark, gritty style adding to the already heavy atmosphere of the story. The Horizon does not hold back in addressing death, fears, and the darkest parts of the human existence, and is, at least throughout the majority of the story, extremely nihilistic, or seemingly so, with a great emphasis on philosophy and addressing the questions that every person must deal with at some point or another. The Horizon is a brutal story on the surface that contains a very hopeful message. A 10 out of 10. A beautifully haunting story. If you're considering reading, please check it out. You won't regret it. So it's more of So this one focuses more on the human aspect. So like girl's last tour sort of thing. I don't know, man. So much manga I have not read. It's crazy. I have not been reading any manga or any manhwas lately. I feel kind of bad because I've been on this anime journey since I was a kid, and I haven't stopped since, but I'm getting really old. The manga store. Asterisk War. Oh my gosh. Berserk is still on the top. It's crazy. But the number of people who wrote it is more important than the score. That's actually true. It's true in most cases, especially on my anime list. But man, oh man, this is. I need to find new mangas to watch. I mean, new mangas to read. What am I saying? Death Note was 50. It dropped a little, I believe. Huh. Chainsaw Man's gone up. Solo leveling's on here. Nana. 86. 86 is. I think it dropped a little, but still pretty high. Umineko. Koe no Katachi. The manga of A Silent Voice is beautiful. I think the anime is good too, though, but the anime movie is good, but the manga is amazing. Classroom the Elite is on here, which is interesting. The sequel, that is. Monogatari. Monogatari is it's kind of funny story. I actually borrowed the first volume from somebody I knew, and I read it. It's good, but it wraps your head. It wraps your head, man. It's crazy. It kind of wraps your head a little bit because you're just like, huh. Grand Blue. I have not watched Grand Blue, but seen that some clips though of the anime and whatnot. Number one is still Berserk. It's surprising to me, but I think the last chapter or the last volume is coming out soon. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'll be honest, I have not read Berserk because it's Berserk. But I do know that it's highly praised though as like one of the greats. It's kind of sad that the animes are pretty not that good. But rest in peace, man, because I do think I have a lot to say about Berserk. There's a lot I really want to talk about. One thing that I do want to praise it for is that the art style for Berserk is pretty cool. And I think that's the reason why the anime adaptations cannot live up, is because the aesthetic, when it comes to manga, the aesthetics of the art style is the tone it sets up. And I feel like the animes can't do that in terms of Berserk. It only works in manga format. If somebody actually tried Berserk in an anime format, it's gonna be like the CG 3D one, which is not that good. For me, Monogatari series are in the top 10. It is a great series. Would I put it in my top 10? I don't know. I don't really have a top 10 because it always changes. I feel like one day this anime is in like my top number one, and then the next day it changes to something else. It goes up and down for me. That's why I don't have all time. Because as I grow older, I start to recognize that, man, anime is changing. Or my taste in anime changes as well. Because after my 5th year of watching anime, I started like, just watch whatever I feel like it, I guess. JoJo Part 7. I can't believe this is number 2. This is actually one of the best JoJo stories ever made. Johnny Johnny Joestar, I believe. This is like, in my opinion, peak JoJo. But sadly, it's another universe of JoJo though. I still cannot wait though. I think part six is good, but I think what kind of killed the hype for part six was that it split into two parts or something on Netflix. I think that kind of hurt it a little. But I hope that in part seven, whenever they do make the anime, I hope they don't really do that because it kind of kills the hype a little. But as Netflix, they have their own way of doing things. I still think that JoJo Part 7 is by far one of the greatest JoJo stories written by Araki. It's funny because the creator of JoJo, Hirohiko Araki, his birthday and my birthday are on the same day. We just celebrated our birthdays together, just put it that way. Very interesting. That man is a he writes some, it's kind of goofy but it works. And the praise, man, this is a highly praised series. 9, 10, 10. It's crazy. Do you remember the freezing? The freezing. Not exactly. You can elaborate on that. I think I'll have a better understanding. There's One Piece, which is One Piece. So One Piece will always be in the top, like, on my anime list. Vagabond. Or is it Vagabond? I have never read or watched this series. I believe wasn't there an anime adaptation? I don't remember. 10, 10, 6, 10s. No, 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 no. This is a seinen series, right? Or it's on hiatus. Interesting. It's historical samurai. Historical animes, typically they work, but it has to be done correctly. And it is a seinen, so that's the demographic. I have heard nothing of this series but praise. Like, I have not even read the summary till now. Popularity is pretty high. Monster is number 5? I can't believe that. Holy smoly. The manga is... I think the anime is good, but the manga is very different in terms of tone. This series it's a good series, but I think this series only works under the conditions that, number one, you go in blind. Number two, you kind of need to go in unexpected. And number three, it doesn't really work as well during the second watch because this... Did you hear about the series? Can you elaborate on that? Because I want to be caught in the circle too, if you can, Marco. Did you hear about this? Well, in terms of Monster, though, I think it's a great series, but I personally think it only works as a first time watch. Not really. Because I rewatched Monster, was it 2, 3 times? I think it was 2.5 times. During the second watch, the hype is not really... It's not really there because you already know what happens. I love Monster, though. I still think it's a great series. Fullmetal Alchemist, that one's pretty obvious. Slam Dunk. A lot of people say that Kurosuke no Basket is the ripoff of Slam Dunk, but I'm not one to judge on that. Good Night Pun Pun. Freezing. I am not familiar with the freezing, to be honest. Sorry if I'm not caught in the circle, but I'll probably search it up after stream. Oyasumi Pun Pun. This is exactly what I expected from a series like this. Every single time I see, every single time when it comes to this series, I only hear two sides of the spectrum. It's the shittiest anime of all time, or it's a freaking masterpiece. I heard that the author for this series is atheist or something. I don't really know. I'm not one to judge honestly, but the only reason why I don't want to read this series is because I feel like it's just anime Sekire. Holy smoly, Sekire. That anime, boy, you just hit nostalgia for me. Sekire. Oh my gosh. Sekire was, I believe it came out 2006, 2007, or no, it came out a long time ago. Sekire is based, it translates to Wagtails. And, man, I used to love that series. I think Sekire's, I believe the manga concluded, I think. Yeah. I'm not even gonna lie. You're gonna. I read the manga, and the conclusion to me was very, very lackluster. And oh boy, it's I don't want to spoil the story, but I read the manga and I was not pleased with the series conclusion. You can you can hate on me, but I'm thinking so much about this series now. But I love the characters. I think the characters are pretty cool. They announced season 3, but it stopped. I think season 3 never came because I think the manga was. I I think Sekiro. I think if you read the manga and you got to the end, you'll see why a lot of people don't like how it ended. Because I remember watching this as a kid. That's how far back I can remember Sekiro. But man, I really did not like the conclusion of the manga. The manga's ending basically is inconclusive. And I don't and what I don't get is that it feels like none of these characters have closure. None of these but I think one or two characters. So the main character and everybody else, they got thrown to the side. I still do like Sekiro though. But but it hurts talking about it because it had this is the problem I have with animes. When it goes to animes and mangas, I feel like the ending is always bad. Like I feel like the thing that determines a series for me. Can you help me and tell me what chapter the manga was? I don't really remember, man, because I don't remember what chapter the anime stops on, but essentially what chapter was it? I don't even remember because it's such a long time ago, honestly. The manga ran from like 2004 to like I think it ended in early 2018. So the manga's been going on forever. But the reason why there's not many you can catch up pretty quickly actually because oh, I won't spoil it, trust me. You can catch up pretty quickly because the manga has been on hiatus and then it comes back and then it goes on hiatus and then it comes back. There's not many chapters, honestly. You can pretty much catch up in a day. Like you're not that. Oh, I'm not gonna spoil nothing. I think it's I think it's better if you just read it yourself and then you just come to your own conclusion. Because for me, I was not satisfied. Is it a bad ending? It's it's not a bad ending. It's just inconclusive. like most animes I've read. But man, I need to really read this one here, Land of the Lustrous. This anime is so good, in my opinion. For a 3D anime, this is probably the best 3D anime I've ever seen. Wow, this is the most strangest review I've seen so far. Huh. I really gotta read this whenever I can. My life is so busy, man. I gotta be the tarantula master I need to be. And a, and I gotta give out lessons too. And I don't even get paid. I gotta pay myself. So I can't really afford anime and stuff. Especially when I'm trying to build my career. All these animes, man, it's crazy. Kingdom, I heard that the anime was not good at all, but I heard the manga for Kingdom actually smacks. 20th Century Boys. People talk about this, but I never had a chance to check it out myself. Ashita no Joe. People consider, oh, excuse me. People consider this to be the OG Megalobox. Hello there, Paul. Did you watch Hina Matsuri? Hold up. Unless I see it myself. Nope. Hina Matsuri is one that I did not watch. The score seems pretty good, though. I really wish I could watch anime like how I used to back then, but man, I'm getting old. 11 years of watching anime. It's a good thing I got exposed to anime when I was a kid, especially with Naruto and Bleach, but my brother Bleach, man, the anime is a tragedy, but the manga is pretty decent until the end. Grand Blue. Yeah, I heard about Grand Blue. It's funny because when it comes to Grand Blue, the only thing I know is out of context clips and season two. Man, it's crazy. There is so much mangas and stuff I gotta read. Typically, I'm the type of person that will watch like 2 episodes of anime, and if I think it's good, I'll just check out the manga or light novels. Such as going on Jaywalker to see if I can buy it digitally or something. Sayonara Eri. This is the one shot from the creator Chainsaw Man. I talked about this, but I can't believe the ratings. Man, it's crazy. 10 out of 10. I'll tell you, the creator of Chainsaw Man, that person is up to something. I tell you, something good too. Because if they're running masterpieces, especially one shots that have this high of a rating, it means something good. But when will Chainsaw Man Part 2? When is it coming though? God, Chainsaw Man is such a. The anime, I mean, the manga aesthetic for this series is one of a kind, I tell you that. It's funny how popular this series is, and everybody's hyped for the anime. Whenever the anime comes out, though, I'm going to be watching that for certain. Neon Genesis Evangelion, honest opinion. I think when it comes to Evangelion, or Evangelion, depending on how you pronounce it, it it depends on what version you watched and where you start off with, because I feel like this story, like the Evangelion universe and whatnot, is so confusing for people because there are so many variations. I mean, do I? I'll be honest. Evangelion to me, I think it's a great series, but every time they do remakes or movies or whatnot or another point oh like 2.0, 3.0, I feel like it makes it it makes it too convoluted. I don't hate Evangelion, but I understand why people think it's confusing. Like, I know that a lot of people they don't like 3.0 because well, it's kind of oof, man. These remakes and getting into Evangelion is an absolute nightmare at this point. Is I feel like to get into Evangelion, you just kind of need to go in blind because, like, back then, like, you just watch anime and you just don't know what to expect. But now there's like YouTube videos and whatnot, and people are like, you need to watch 2.0 first or watch this one first. And now everybody gets confused. But I think that Evangelion is best if you just start off anywhere at this point because it's a classic. I do recommend that everybody check it out at some point in their anime lifetime career. But to be completely honest, though, I think Evangelion for its time is a masterpiece. But at the same time, I do think it's a bit overhyped. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's a bit overhyped, and it's very confusing to get into. Actually, now that I think about it, because I remember during my college, when I was still in college, my friend was like, "Hey, I want to watch Evangelion. Do I just watch the newest one, or do I watch the 1994 version with the really bad 3D graphics?" I was like, "Dude, just start anywhere." That's my honest opinion. Because I don't at this point Evangelion has so many I don't want to call it remakes, but it's like retellings. I think that's the more honest answer. That there's pretty much no right or wrong. Man, that is crazy. I personally though, it's just really up to you on how where you want to start. But yeah, there goes my honest opinion on Neon Genesis and Evangelion. Sounds kind of strange, but that's the best way I can explain it. Natsume Yunchincho. Hunter x Hunter actually dropped. That's interesting. Originally it was higher, I believe. Spy Family is ranked number 56. Yagate Kimi ni Naru. Man, Yuri series. I feel like when it comes to girls' love and boys' love stuff, I feel like the endings are always disappointing. I don't know. Probably just me who thinks that. Violet Evergarden. It's only 2 volumes? Interesting. I did not know that. Banana Fish. Koko no Hito. Gintama. Aria. Konosuba. Pluto. Mob Psycho. Hanako-kun is on here? That's interesting. I did not know that. Pandora Hearts. Oh my god. I love this series. It's kind of disappointing how the anime was not that good, honestly. But and I think the reason why the anime was not that good, I feel like the tone, the atmosphere, and whatnot, I think is different in the anime than it is in the manga. The manga has this gritty feel to it, like this dark atmosphere and this gritty feeling. But the manga, though, man, the manga is something. I tell you that. What else is there? Is that a sentence of a bookworm? Wow, this is very interesting. Who knew? Holy smoly! I guess and in terms of manga and visual novels, I think the rating on my anime list is much more aligned with me than the actual anime list, which is kind of shocking, honestly. Domino Ace, Suka Suka. Man, I love this series. God dang. This series to me, it's a great series. I know there's a sequel though, but is the sequel better? I can't say. It is insane how this series has changed over time. Suka Suka to me was actually a pretty decent series, but I still wish that it got an anime for the sequel, but I don't think that will ever happen. Not in a long time, or maybe not ever. Neon Genesis Evangelion, the manga, is ranked 91. That is insane. It's funny how the fifth, like from 50 to 100, is much more aligned with me than the actual first 50 that's here. This is very strange indeed. Kono Oto Tomare. A music series, eh? And it's shonen too. That is very interesting. Mushishi. Mushishi's a great anime. Uchi Kyodai. No, Uchu Kyodai. Space Brothers. Made in Abyss, 86. Very interesting indeed. I need to read Vinland Saga. I know that people say Vinland Saga is like one of the greatest mangas there is. But from what I've been hearing though, I hear that this series is pretty slow in terms of chapter releases. It's probably just me who thinks that. That's one of the problems I have with a lot of manga series and stuff is if it has a slow release schedule, because then I'm wanting more and it's just taking way too long. But yeah, it's kind of surprising though. In terms of the manga and light novels and manhwa and stuff, the top 100 on this list is actually, I actually agree with most of this than with the actual top animes. But that's just me though. But anyhow though, it's getting kind of late, so maybe I should wrap it up. So, without further ado, I'm the Kumo Sensei. Too much I think down below. Well, wow, this isn't a YouTube, you know what I'm saying? So, this is the Kumo Sensei, and yeah, feel free to check out my social medias. I'll link those in down below, so go check it out. And yeah, with that, let's see each other next week on a live stream, I guess. And let's save up for a new PC. And with that, I'm the Kumo Sensei, and that's really about it. See ya.